why, when we were experiencing pain, did it take us so long to admit that and work through that discomfort? Why did it take us time to seek more clarity about what it might be?
Welcome back to In Residence. I'm Keith.
And I'm Laura.
Hey, Laura.
Hey, Keith.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing swell.
Good.
What are we talking about?
Okay. So today we are going to talk about something that might be a little hard to talk about for us.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
I mean, my notes say discomfort, comfort, and yeah.
Yeah. So we both had experiences over the past 2 weeks, I would say, 3 weeks, where, what?
Or longer.
Or longer, where we started realizing that there was something for me physically, right, in my body that wasn't quite right, wasn't quite feeling good. And I was experiencing quite a bit of discomfort. And I was realizing that I was experiencing this, but that I wasn't really naming it well or admitting it to people. I kept kind of joking and saying, oh, well, I have a literal pain in my butt, right? Like my muscle hurts. It's kind of freaking out. And I'm doing weight training to fix it and make it stronger and make my lazy butt less lazy, right? So I kind of was explaining it away and just saying, like, this pain is kind of just in my head and I just need to work through it and not complain.
Yeah.
Right? Don't you dare complain.
Yeah.
Laura.
Yeah.
A little bit.
And mine's a little more like kind of what you just said. That's why I laughed. It's like more of a pain in my head.
Right.
I mean, I have like sore muscles and back and all the stuff that comes with midlife, but more of mine is like, okay, mental clutter and whatever other interesting words I could use to describe mental health, I guess.
Right.
So yeah, we both have some things we're carrying, let's say.
Right. And I guess for today, we don't want this episode to be like a medical episode. Like, that's not really the intent.
We're not doctors. Well, you're a PhD, you're a doctor, but we're not medical doctors. We're not psychologists. We're not therapists.
No.
We're not counselors. We're two people that love each other that are trying to work through things.
Mm-hmm. And trying to really understand more about why, when we were experiencing pain, did it take us so long to admit that and work through that discomfort? Why did it take us time to seek more clarity about what it might be?
Yeah. Or just to be curious of like, okay, is something wrong, or how wrong is something? Or, because when you're in it, you don't really know.
No.
Right. Like, and you have a high pain tolerance.
I do.
Especially physical pain tolerance. Yeah.
Pretty good. Yeah.
More than me. I stub my toe. Everybody better cover their ears because you're going to hear about it. You're like, you cut yourself, and I'm just like, doesn't that hurt? You're like, like, okay.
It's not like, great.
Let's put some ice on that burn, Laura. Like, you touched the oven. Holy moly.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, so maybe we can get into a little bit more what we learned about ourselves, and then dig deeper, if it's okay, around maybe why maybe we waited to work through that discomfort, and what's almost comforting about living with the discomfort, But I think it makes sense to first talk about kind of what you and I are both kind of exploring.
Yeah.
Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Do you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
It's up to you. Ladies first is what I want to say, but
okay, it's fine.
The pressure doesn't have to be on you.
Okay. No. So I'll talk a little bit. Like I said, jokingly, that I've had this pain in my hip, and I've been going to physical therapy for quite a while, and we've been working on strengthening all my hip muscles, right? My glutes, my quads, my hamstrings, everything that kind of supports that hip joint. And I had an appointment with my doctor, and I said, well, I might as well just talk about it because maybe it's a side effect of a medication I'm on or something like that. So I asked, and she said, oh, well, let's get an x-ray, right? And I was like, oh, an x-ray. Well, I have found out, and it's probably only about a week and a half ago, but I found out I have severe arthritis in my hip.
Yeah.
And so there's a really good reason why I have pain in my hip and why it gets worse when I'm moving, why it gets worse after lifting heavy on leg day.
Yeah.
Right. And so
it's not just growing pain.
It's not just growing pains. And so there was something about that for me that was comforting, that I finally knew, oh my gosh, this is what it is, but also really scary that it was something that
has severe in the title.
So, so that's what I've been working through. What about you, Keith? Do you want to talk about yours?
Yeah. Well, I mean, same with you, like we've kind of hit on it before. For me, anxiety, generalized anxiety. What else is wrong with me?
It's not wrong.
One of my coping mechanisms is humor.
Yes.
So yeah, mental health stuff for me, right? Getting therapy, talking with somebody, just staying on top of it, right? And like, nothing super acute, but maybe that's because I am talking with somebody.
Yeah. It's always helpful.
Yeah.
I find therapy helpful.
Yeah. But like, I don't know where else to go with that, but like for me, diving into trying to figure out how I work in my head and trying to find more information about that, and that's just kind of the journey I've been on for almost a year, like with the help of somebody, a professional, I've been doing it on my own to kind of to get back to like what we're talking about. Sure. Is like, or what kind of what we're hinting at is what I mean is, what took so long,
Yeah.
Cause like I'll say to you, I'm like, oh, maybe I should have done this 10 years ago, kind of thing. Right. And so like you said, that comfort in the discomfort, or with your hip, not understanding the severity of it. And it's kind of, I think it's got a little bit to do with how we were both raised. It's a little bit of like you scraped your knee, rub some dirt on it and keep going kind of thing.
Oh, that's funny.
You know what I mean?
No, I mean,
or just brushing it off. Like I did it with humor just 30 seconds ago.
You did.
Just dismiss it, not a big deal.
Well, and I think some of mine too, I think you're right. It's that, so I have hip pain. Maybe I'm being dramatic.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm being a hypochondriac. Maybe I'm just creating more of something than it actually is.
Yeah.
Right. And, I think too, maybe at the heart of it, what if nothing can be done? Like, I think that's where I was starting to feel, because I'm like, gosh, I have been doing all of my PT. I've actually been doing the exercises. Like, it's different to be going to physical therapy and like quasi doing them. Like, I've been showing up and doing them, and I've been adding weight training, and I've been doing all these things, and it seems to have gotten worse.
Yeah.
I'm like, what if nothing can be done? I was thinking maybe I just need a good muscle relaxer to get things to calm down.
Yeah. Well, that's what worked for me, right? This summer when I hurt my hip and back and whatever it was. Yeah.
So there's kind of that too of what if nothing can be done to help it? And I will say my dad, I talked to him a little bit, and he goes, okay, this is something we can work through. And that made me feel better. I'm like, okay, this isn't, I can work through this. This is doable, but it was a surprise, I think.
Yeah. So there's something there with, I think I do the same thing where I'm like, well, what if there is no solution?
Right.
What if I'm just stuck? the way I am or with what I have. And so is that like self-defeating in a way or something, or it just comes back to kind of being afraid. I think.
And I think what you're talking about is that tension, right? Between that seeking to have more comfort and living with the discomfort when you're used to. Like there's something very human, I think, about that tension between those two. But there is something at the end of the day, I'm also trying to protect myself, right? Because if I show up and they tell me it's just your muscle, you have to keep doing stuff to strengthen your muscle, even though you've been doing it, it's not working. There's part of me that wants to protect myself from saying like, okay, it's not, it's not just you.
Oh, like
It's
maybe
okay.
like they're like, oh, you're overreacting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Like your pain tolerance isn't high. Like, I don't know what you're complaining about.
Yeah.
Right. So like there's something there that I think I also try and protect myself. And what you were saying too is there's that piece where you're kind of protecting yourself by staying in that discomfort a little, or you could be.
I don't think we realize that's what we're doing sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
The discomfort, for me, maybe it's the discomfort that I know is what I know. So therefore, why would I go to something that's uncertain that seems like it could be really painful? Or another thing that pops in my head with that is if I attempt to find a solution to the problem, that means I have to admit there's a problem. And that can feel heavy. Like I don't think that's what I'm doing, but I think from your perspective, sometimes you've illuminated to me is like, are you avoiding this because that means there's a problem or something that needs to be fixed? Like for me, the connotation of like being a problem or being something for somebody to have to deal with, that's something I don't want to be. Like that's ingrained in me from a young age of don't be an inconvenience.
Yes.
So if there's a problem and I'm the problem, I'm an inconvenience.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Well, and even so I just got back from a work trip. So I was out in Washington, D.C., appealing to our legislators, right?
Yeah.
Advocating for higher education and funding for higher ed and for students. But one of the days was all walking around the hill, around the Senate buildings. And I remember there was a point where I was just like, I don't know if I can keep going. It hurts a lot. And I have ibuprofen, I have Tylenol, I've taken. And there was a point where I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go meet you at the office, just save a little bit on my legs. But it felt weird. I felt a little like, why can't I keep up? There's a little bit of a shame with that. And of course there's like no benches in any of these hallways. So I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna get there and just stand on the thing that hurts.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, oh, come on. But there is like kind of a shame that was associated with some of it. And
like
also
shame and embarrassment can come up when you're dealing with these types of things. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, did I cause this? Like what did I do wrong? What's wrong with me that this is happening? Kind of tough,
Yeah. I mean, our brain creates all of these dramatic things, and I think it's an attempt to protect us.
Yeah.
But in a way, it's also preventing us from healing in a way. I don't know if that's the right way of saying it. Like, I'm not trying to be so serious, but the scripts in our head, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we've talked about the soundtracks, like these things that we say to ourselves, like who's saying that?
Mm-hmm.
And why are we listening when it's something that's not helpful?
Isn't that true? Well, and so I had my diagnosis the Friday before I left on my work trip. Like I had one day to digest it. And there was a part of me that was like, gosh, before I knew it, there was a sense of control related to my identity, where I was like, okay, so I have a tight hip. I'm stretching. I'm lifting weights. I'm an athlete. I'm going to overcome this. I'm going to do this. There was a lot of flexibility and control I had. But just the last week, like knowing what it actually is, there's some freedom in that.
Yeah.
But there's also at the same time a sense of, I wrote it down, realness to it.
In a good way or kind of a daunting way?
Both.
Okay.
In a way that it gives you a freedom because you know what it is now. And now you can explain what is that dull pain that doesn't go away.
Yeah.
Right? But at the same time, it makes it from like, oh, well, it might be arthritis, but it's most likely just a muscle that you have control to exercise, strengthen, and make better. Where it's like to make the hip better now, it's going to take something much more invasive
and out of your control.
And out of my control.
Yeah.
And that's a little scary.
Yeah.
A little scary. But I'm brave. I can do it.
You do lots of hard things.
I do lots of hard things. Yeah. And lots of people have hips replaced. I don't think I told you this. I sat down at a table where people are like, oh yeah, I got both of my hips replaced. And oh, I got the, we were commiserating over how much walking it is up on the hill. And I was like, this is exactly what I needed. Just a little bit of like camaraderie around arthritis and like hip replacements and joint replacements. So
yeah,
it was, it was good. It was good. I guess what I am trying to say is that I know you and I think, are very good about minimizing the pain that we experience. And I just want people to know that if they do this too, that they aren't alone. You aren't alone and you deserve to be cared for.
To what you're saying, it's like there are ways through, like you don't have to silently suffer, it's like you said, like you're worth the care it takes to like lessen the weight you might be feeling kind of thing.
Right.
With the stuff that I'm going through and processing, right? It's the naming of like what generalized anxiety, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, I'm not just a jerk. It's kind of what it's like for me. I'm like, we kind of always knew for quite a while I'm like pretty anxious, but it's like I'm like, oh no, it just means that I care, right? Or I want things to go well. And it's just like, okay, it's a little more than that, Keith. Like you shouldn't have a panic attack. Yeah. Not great, Find some tools and things to like help you not get to that point, or if you are, to get out of it kind of thing. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And sometimes, I don't know if you feel this too, but naming it and being able to name it actually does help. I mean, I kind of went through a point where I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is what it is. I felt shame. I felt all these things. And right now I'm at this point where it's like, okay, now I know what it is. That means that I can make decisions about what are my next steps. I can make a plan. I can, so I have like a appointment with an orthopedic doctor to understand what are my options, and what's going to be best for me right now. And so it does feel good to be able to name it, because then it makes it more clear about what my potential options might be moving forward.
So like on part of the journey I'm on is it's like, so being named somebody that has anxiety, feels a little not good. Feels,
Yeah.
and so like a lot of things, like when you're talking about mental health, a lot of the things that are labeled disorders, right? So like
Mm,
ADHD, right? Like that's something I'm looking into. Um, it's a lot more, it's talked about a lot more.
hmm.
I know a lot more people that have it, but like when we grew up, it's like, oh, that's the kid that can't sit still. That's the kid that gets sent out of the room because they're being disruptive, right? So
Right.
there's those connotations that come with that, and thinking about is, because like that wasn't me growing up.
Right.
Um, but now seeing the things that are coming out, and with the media we have and the social media, and that people can
Hmm.
share, and like I'm meeting people all the time that are like upfront and owning that part of them,
Yeah.
that and so it's like, oh, and then you kind of see things, right? And so part of like what I'm going through is looking at like maybe getting an evaluation to see like where I am in that.
Hmm.
My guess is I'm high functioning, and again, I don't know 100% what I'm talking about with this, but it's just like through doing like my own research.
Sure.
So I found a few things, but like the the naming can feel kind of bad, but like you said, it can also feel good. And I think getting definitions is kind of where I was like, oh, well, it's defined now. At least I know. Like, so instead
Right.
of thinking of it as a label, it's more of a definition of something that helps me search for more answers, which I think that's a good thing, but which, it can be a weakness of mine of like looking for more information. But in this case, finding understanding,
Yeah.
and especially with about myself, it's been helpful. And, you know, finding different things here and there, it's like, oh, that's interesting.
I had a meeting with my physical therapist just last week, and I said, "Okay, here's the deal. I found out what this hip pain is." And he was able to pull up the X-ray and explain it to me. He's like, "Okay." I said, "So how does this change my weightlifting? How does this change my physical therapy exercises? I don't want to not continue to work on my strength, right?" And so being able to name it and define it, to your point, really did help us have a different conversation where I was able to tailor my new plan to something that is going to help me strengthen my muscles, but also minimize the extra strain that I put on, like the things that were making my hip really ache after leg day. I was able to pinpoint those, and we're going to remove those and add other things in that'll work better.
Yeah.
So that feels more powerful. Like I have more agency over figuring out how am I going to move forward now.
Yeah. And, instead of continuing to do things and getting results that you're not after, and not
Right.
knowing like this is supposed to be helping, and then when it's not, you're like, what's going on?
Yeah. I know, and I think I've talked about this before, but I've also been diagnosed, with general anxiety disorder.
Yeah.
And it is helpful to know about myself because I used to always think of myself just as a worrywart.
Yeah.
Like I'm just a worrywart. I worry about everything. I worry, did I unplug the curling iron? Did I unplug the coffee pot? Did I lock the door? I feel like I locked the door. I might have locked the door, but I might not have locked the door. It's
All
that
right.
ticker tape.
Yeah.
Sorry, I might cross use stress.
Yes.
Didn't mean to do
Oh, we're
that.
peas in a pod.
Peas in a pod. But it does help you understand how your brain works. And I don't love the word disorder either. I don't know if you said you didn't like it. I don't know if I love
I
that
just,
word. It's what it
it's
is.
what it is. It's just, it has a connotation to it.
Right.
Like I'm not like offended by it. For me, it's like, I'm like, that it feels a little heavy. It's like kind of like, oh, like something wrong with me.
Yeah.
But what we were saying is like, okay, but I don't need to embrace that part of it. I can embrace the part of knowing, and
Mhm.
look at all these tools and resources when I actually search for the term.
Right.
Like, oh, that sounds like me. Oh, okay. I'm like, oh, you have it too. Oh, yes, I'm not alone, kind of
Yeah.
thing. So
There's a family, the Holderness family,
Yeah.
and I can't remember the dad's name.
Penn.
That's right, Penn.
I've read their book or
Have you?
listened. Yeah, their book is great.
Oh, I should listen to it too. But he put out a whole video about ADHD brains because he has ADHD. And I think he found out as an adult. And I love how he talks about how these are the things of how his brain works with it. But here are the things that make him special and different because of his brain that he really, really values and make him unique. I really like that because it doesn't have to be seen as something that is a problem to fully fix. It can also be something that makes your brain just work differently, right?
Yeah. So like I'll see somebody like that, and
Yeah.
I'm not trying to comment on him or how he shows up or how anybody else does, but like the stereotypical thing like I talked about is like someone that's hyperactive and like they're just like ping ponging everywhere, right? And like keys jingling and shiny lights, you know, and like
Sure.
they can't focus.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I don't think that's necessarily me. And then I was like doing something and then like they're doing the work I'm doing and like the research, it's like high functioning ADHD. And so here's a couple things real quick I'll share. I did a little research. Intense perfectionism.
Okay.
Hyper focus and urgency.
Okay.
Internal restlessness.
Okay.
Organization systems. Hidden executive dysfunction, emotional regulation issues. So Laura's laughing and smiling because she's like, that sounds a lot like my husband. Some of that, right? And I'm like, and there's more, you know, but I don't need to bore people with it. But I'm like, okay, so it's just another one of those things where it's like I don't have a lot of answers, and I'm at that point where I'm in that thing where I'm kind of hemming and hawing of like, am I going to step forward and like find somewhere to get evaluated?
Yeah.
Right. So I'm in that thing that we're like, you're further along in like your physical pain journey of like, you did
figuring it out.
You're doing the things where you're making appointments and you're doing these things. And I'm still over here kind of like, do I want more answers? Do I want, you know, and it's getting to be more and more like, well, yeah, like, yeah, you know, more information is power kind of thing.
It is. But, you know, and I do think that there's a part that once you get more answers, there's a higher risk of people labeling you as the person with, right? Rather than you're Keith, right?
Yeah.
Instead it's like, oh no, you are the person that is only these things. Even like with me, right? Like maybe I am no longer just Laura, but I'm the person that has anxiety and has severe arthritis in her hip. And so there's all those pieces of us, but that's not who we are, right? It's not what defines us necessarily as people, but it's a part of us. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
it's not all that we are. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
It's a part of what we are. It's part of us. It like the label doesn't define us, but it is, you know, but us being able, like, this is all like semantics, right? But like this, they're important. Like we want to lean into the empowerment of the definition and the knowing so that we can keep moving forward and hopefully moving forward more easily because we're not stopping ourselves from like getting the agency back, you know, like you knowing more about what's wrong with your hip means that you're that much closer to being pain-free, you know, or managing it on your way to getting pain-free. Right. You know, exactly. Whereas like if I sit here and I keep hemming and hawing about looking up some of these things and seeing where I can go to, you know, do an evaluation or get more information, I don't know if it's necessarily going to harm me. Right. But I'm there's going to be that much more up in the air where if I had a little more clarity, there would probably be more tools available to me or more targeted things that I could look at instead of like like dry skin, right? Like you can rub lotion on it and keep rubbing lotion on it and trying to see if that works. But then if it's still there, it's like, well, if you just got an allergy shot, it would take care of it because you're allergic to this kind of thing, know. But if you never go and like do a little more work, which isn't easy, it can feel hard,
Right.
But again, we can do hard things, and it doesn't, and manageable. Make it like manageable little steps. Like this has been like we said last time, this is like one of those things that's a slow burn. Because just like you're putting in like the physical therapy work, I'm putting in the mental work. Like my thing isn't super acute. The physical pain you're dealing with versus like me trying to figure out like the way I operate so that I can like find smoother paths to like be in the world. It's like, it's not as, dancing around like the thing of like you and I know that I'm the kind of person that doesn't do anything unless it's acute. Like historically, right? Like that's my favorite thing to say.
It took you months to go to the doctor when your back was hurting.
Yeah.
You finally did. And it got better.
And well, I didn't have to like, who knows if I have arthritis or not, but like, I'm not in pain. Like I'm not in pain like you. But yes, it's one of those things where most of the time when I find myself delaying, I do that thing where I'm like, why did I take so long to finally do the thing that I ought to have done? Like, there was no downside except for a few moments of discomfort of realizing like, okay, well, now I have to deal with that because now I know what it is.
Right. So something that I want to make sure people take away from this is you are worth getting taken care of. It is something that you deserve. Your physical and your mental health. And you shouldn't have to feel like you have to sacrifice that.
You don't have to earn it either.
Right. You don't need to earn it.
Like you said, you deserve it.
You deserve it. Yep. And I know one thing that I've struggled with is saying, I can't do this unless I do these things for other people first. Now, that, right. And I will say, I'll be honest, trying to make time for the doctor appointments to look into my hip and where are my next steps. That was hard because that meant I had to reschedule and move things around at work. You're going to be coming out and going to one of the appointments with me, which means you won't be like here. Right. And so it's shifting things around quite a bit, but I have to get better at realizing that it's okay for me to prioritize taking care of myself. And if I don't do that, then I'm not going to be able to keep showing up for other people and doing the things they expect to. So I know a much younger Laura definitely had those reversed.
Like you just said, what other people expect me to do. I'm like, well, that can change because your needs are just as necessary, if not more. But it is because of what you said, I think, or I like to think of it as, if I am selfish and I take care of myself, I can take care of other people. Like, right? I show up as a better version of myself when I'm more patient because I took care of myself. I show up as a better father, a better husband, in all my relationships, right?
Yeah.
And that's one of my priorities. One of my top priorities is like, I want to show up the best I can for the people I care about, right? And help cultivate environments and situations in which they thrive. Well, for me to do that, I need to thrive as well.
Yep.
So that's my 2 cents on what you just said.
Yeah, it's super important. I was thinking a little bit about, many of us, when it comes to car maintenance, right? Like we use that as a non-negotiable, right?
I have to change the oil in the car.
Do you?
Yes.
See, like if your car needs oil, you change it.
Yeah.
If you have a flat tire, you deal with it, right?
Or you leave it on the side of the road.
Well, that's not advised. But you know what I mean?
It'll cost you.
Like for the most part, if you have an issue with your car,
maintenance is less expensive than repairs.
Exactly. Right. And
Yeah.
so what would happen if we treated our bodies and our minds like that, right? If we didn't look at it as something that's negotiable, we'll get around to it when we can. Like it would have been very easy for me to say, I have a busy week. I'm going to be traveling for a couple weeks. I'll just deal with this hip, snafu in late March. I absolutely could do that. And I also know that's not in my best interest either. I'm treating this less as a negotiable this time.
Good.
Making it happen. I think what I wanted at the end of this episode is just to remind everybody that if there is something in your life that you have been quietly living with, whether it's physical pain, mental pain, or something else that you know about that others don't, right? That you're quietly living with, maybe this episode can be your nudge to reconsider taking care of yourself and reconsider putting yourself first, and not to panic or to worry or freak out about it, but to get curious. Take an opportunity to get curious and explore maybe what some of those answers might be to help you move forward in the way that might bring you more comfort rather than living with that discomfort you're used to.
Yeah. One small little question in a search engine, that's being curious and just getting a little more close to maybe something that might help, right?
Absolutely.
Like, and that could be your thing for the day. Like, and then check it off and feel good, and then like last time, go watch a show and relax, and get a little recuperation.
Right.
Start small.
Yep. And if no one's told you today, you are worth your care and attention. Just as much as everybody else is. You are worth your care and attention.
Wrap it up.
I think that sounds good.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you.
I love you too. Sorry, I might cause you stress.
Yes.
Didn't mean to do that.
Peas in a pod.
Peas in a pod.